Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So today we're revisiting the cloaking concept, something I find rather exciting, but instead of building a cloak using projectors, we're going to go to a very old-fashioned method and build it using the environment around us. Now, just as traditional hunters do, they build themselves ghillie suits, but in space, there's not much natural sort of vegetation to blend in with, so you can either go with a black ship and try to blend in with the darkness, or you can go with a ship that is suited to blend in with these asteroids. So I'm going to show you something I call the Assassination ship, something that can get there behind enemy lines and take out leaders. Now, you probably didn't see this ship at all from long distances, and that is because it is well camouflaged, and using this blue colour it blends it very well into the environment. Now you probably think I'm totally insane, and that's because that is not actually the ship that I'm camouflaged. That was just a test and something to distract you from the actual ship itself. The actual ship that's camouflaged and blended into the environment is this guy up here. Now this is the Assassination drone. We've got the two cannons out front, and we've got this shell covered in this direction from the stones. So if you actually keep your eye on this ship now as we zoom out, you'll actually see how it starts to disappear into the environment as soon as that landing gear disappears there, like so. Now if I was just travelling past here and quickly glimpsed over at the asteroid, I wouldn't see that at all. I'd see the blue thing, of course, and I could just look around, and it's blended in really well. Now I'm going to show you a little bit behind the creation of this and exactly how it works, but it is a great way of blending a really small drone into an asteroid. Now I wouldn't really say do this on a much larger scale, because it's going to have its sort of problems. Anyway, let's head over here to the platform behind where I've got the little drones laid out. So I've got three different prototypes. We've got the original here at the end. Now this was the first Mark 1 sort of version, and I ran into a number of problems with it. The first one was when I wanted it to be in more of a stealthy mode, the gravity of the rocks would actually push the ship forward and just caused whole other problems. So then we moved on to the Mark II. So the Mark II had a landing gear, so when it was in its sort of disguise mode, it could lock itself down and create a very realistic looking sort of ghillie suit, you could say, for itself. And then the Mark III, we changed the colour ever so slightly to blend with the asteroids that little bit more. Now I'll show you the difference between the Mark I and Mark II. And like so, we're going to activate it using this control panel. And we're going to hit cloak, and then we're just going to throw out on all. So you notice straight away on this version that it starts to throw the stones out, and it builds the stones more to the back of this version, creating a really natural looking ship as well. I mean, it almost looks like a rock ship when these are fully formed, but you can see how the gravity is actually affecting the ship itself. So to actually activate the cloak, you have to be attached to an asteroid. That's the only problem, unless you want yourself to look like a drifting asteroid rock itself. So we could actually take control of this if we wanted to, but I'm not going to do for the moment. I'm just going to let it drift and start to build up that shield more and more around itself. So you can see as some of the thrusters are blocked, the rocks will shake away, and they'll keep adding more and more until you get something that looks more natural rather than that distinctive looking ship shell. Now, a problem that I noticed with this original design though was that it formed a lot of the rocks towards the back, and it left the front looking still very ship-like. So let's delete that, leave them rocks to float away, and we'll go back to this version and we'll activate the actual throw out rocks function. Cloak, throw out, and you can see that the rocks in this one automatically start to build towards the front, and that's where I think it's the most important, because if you're going to be viewing a target with the camera, you can see the camera's actually covered in rocks. But what's quite interesting about this, if we go into the control panel and we activate the camera, you'll actually see it is perfectly clear and usable to use them turrets with. So we'll exit the camera again, and you'll see how the rocks are starting to be built up in a much more natural shape around this one. So this could be drifting towards you, maybe it's a little asteroid or in an asteroid cluster, and it could be quite exciting, quite interesting to actually have a look at, as well as blending the ship much better into the environment itself. We'll actually control this one though, so we'll delete that one so we don't have any other control problems, and we'll hop into it here. So we've actually set up the Assassination drone on a sort of supply route here. We've got a military escort actually running through this area. We're going to activate the cloak, so before it actually comes up, I'm going to pulse 3 of them out, and then I'm going to actually suck them all in to speed up the process just ever so slightly more. And then the rocks are going to start to generate and build up that shell, that sort of ghillie suit you could even say, around the ship itself to blend it better with the environment. So as we pull away, you can see how it's starting to block itself in and just become one, so that military escort is actually never going to see what's about to hit it. So now we'll break off this cloak, and I'll show you just what this thing can do. So to break off the cloak, we're going to disable the rock throwing out, and we're also going to disable the gravity generator. Now there's another way of doing this, but this is my preferred favourite way, is we disable the landing gear, we press F9 just to show you what to do, and as we pull up, the rocks will release, and then it's as simple as pulling up and moving forward, and all the rocks should actually clear out of the cockpit, and we'll actually jump back into first person, so that's one on the camera, and we'll actually go in to hunt down this military escort. So I just thought I would actually show you this concept of how it works and just how awesome it actually turns your ship in. It makes your ship into a really natural shape, turn it into a great camouflage for an asteroid, as well as them two really powerful cannons on the front to actually eliminate any high value target or take out little mining ships just like a U-boat would do in a very stealthy, very fast and efficient way without risking the operator's life. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.